funeral of Millie James. The pastor is earnest but naive, wanting to see the best, sometimes struggling to make space for the worst. JoAnn is honest and straightforward but kind, a woman of her generation. John is grieving and angry, clearly hurt by his mother and wanting to tell the truth. Smith is easygoing and approachable.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here to celebrate the remarkable life of Sister Millie James, a saint of our church. I wonder if there's bad traffic and folks haven't arrived yet. Just the three of you. Is traffic bad?
No.
Well, that's neither here nor there. Jesus says, wherever 2 or 3 are gathered, and we've got 3.
Amen.
Jesus is here.
Amen.
As is our custom, we will begin our celebration of life by opening the microphone to any who wish to share a story. I know there must be so many good stories about Sister Millie. I'll start with one of my own. Now, I didn't know Millie very well. She hasn't been able to have visitors these last 5 years or so. She didn't want anyone coming. But what I loved most about Millie was just the sweetness of her spirit. She was always so happy to see me. I'd come to visit and she'd bring out these amazing chocolate chip cookies and we'd chat about her lemon trees. She loved those lemon trees. Such a peaceful woman. You always felt like you were in the presence of such calmness of spirit. That's our Sister Millie, truly a saint. Now, who else would like to share? Is there anyone who wishes to say anything about our sweet Millie? A story, perhaps, or an anecdote? Come now, church. This isn't like you. Is there something you'll miss about Sister Millie? JoAnn, as head of our Women's Prayer League, perhaps you could offer a short reflection.
I don't think so, Pastor. No.
JoAnn, you knew her for 60 years. Please, some words of comfort to the family, to her son, on behalf of the church.
She was in Women's Prayer League for 60 years. She came every week, and we studied the Bible. Yes, we did. We studied the book of Psalms, Genesis, and the book of Matthew. You know, in 60 years, you study a lot of books of the Bible, Pastor. Yes,
Thank you, JoAnn. We're not here for a list, though. Please share about Sister Millie and her great faith. Surely if you studied the Bible for 60 years, you must have a great faith.
Okay, great faith, huh? Well, Pastor, she brought treats every week. Chocolate chip cookies, and every week she told us her recipe. It was, 6 cups of flour, 2 bags of chocolate chips, a stick of butter, and then she put the oven at 350, and then she would just...
we're not here for a recipe. Tell us about Sister Millie and her great love of the Bible.
Oh, Lord. Her great love of the Bible. Pastor, I don't think she came for the love of the Bible.
What do you mean?
Well, when it came to Women's Prayer with me, every week, Sister Millie had the news. She knew who was flirting with who. She knew who had money problems. And she even had stories about you, Pastor.
About me?
Oh, yes. You did love those chocolate chip cookies a lot.
But she invited me.
Yes, she invited you, Pastor. But she said you came because, she said she didn't think nobody at your home was making chocolate chip cookies for you, that your home was lacking affection. That's what she said. Now, you know she was insinuating that...
I get the insinuation, JoAnn.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Pastor, but you know what? We didn't believe her. Not all them stories, especially the ones about you. No, we did not.
JoAnn, that's enough on that subject. How about you say something nice about Sister Millie? Oh, people are complicated after all, good and bad, saint and sinner. Well, let's focus on the saint today.
Oh, saint. Something good. Well, you know those chocolate chip cookies she brought every week? They were delicious. That was good about her. Yes, it was. You know, all day, one time, I saw her sneaking them cookies out of a grocery store bag in the church kitchen. I said, Millie, we do not do that in Women's Prayer League. Now, you would have thought I slapped her. But you know what? I didn't tell nobody. I just let it go. I let her bring them old store-bought cookies in a basket every week, and I didn't tell nobody because I did not want to be on Millie's bad side because she could hold a grudge for a very long time, Pastor.
JoAnn,
yes?
focus on the good.
That's all I got, Pastor.
Thank you, JoAnn. I do appreciate your plain speaking.
Thank you.
Is there anyone who can say anything nice about Sister Millie? Perhaps offer a different side.
I've got some.
Great. Her beloved son, John.
Yes.
I know you must have so many good stories about Sister Millie. Please, we're so sorry for your loss.
Hi, everyone.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming today. I'm just going to say what we're all thinking. Millie was the worst.
Amen.
Right?
Yes, Lord.
She was the worst human being, perhaps, on the planet. And I know I've been her kid for 53 years.
John,
I know we're all supposed to stand up here and say nice things because she's dead. But she was the meanest old woman I ever knew.
Me too.
In fact, if y'all have anything nice to say about my mother, I'm all ears because she sure never showed that to us. One time she said to my little brother, she told him he'd be handsome if he had a different face. Said he got that good hair. And everything else was all right. But his face. He was 11.
John, what did you say to him?
What are you going to say to your kid brother? He just thought he was hideous his whole life. I swore to him he wasn't. I tried to build him up, you know? But it seeps in. It affects kids.
John, I hear your wounds, and these stories are harsh. But is there anything positive you can say?
I maybe got one good thing.
Thank you, John. Please share.
My dad, he was a good man. A saint of a man. Why he was with my mother, I have no idea. But I can remember this one time my mom was mad at my little brother. He was late for school or something, and she locked him out of the house in his pajamas. She told him he'd have to walk to school and wear just his pajamas for the day. You should have seen the look on his face. He was horrified. He was inside yelling at her. He's my little brother, you know. I was always trying to protect him. I begged her to let him inside. I tried to open the door, and she lost it.
John.
Nope, I'm getting there. So my dad, he normally ignored all the kid stuff. But that day he looked out the window and saw my brother crying in his pajamas and me crying trying to open the door. I don't know why, but that day he had enough. He yelled at my mom to leave us alone. Quit being so mean. And my mom, it was like he hit her. She jumped back, went pale, and unlocked that door. That day he became my hero. Can you imagine such a low bar for a hero? Standing up for your kids one time. Anyway, that's my story. The one good thing she did was make a hero of my dad for us. That day, I guess we realized that being mean wasn't supposed to be what a mom was like. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I must admit, I'm at a loss for words. Usually we have a line of people lining up to say sweet or funny stories. I'm sorry. Perhaps we should just move on to prayer. But I do see there's another person here. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, I just say a few words. My name is Smith.
Thank you, Smith. How did you know Millie?
Well, I was her mailman.
Thank you for being here, Smith. I suppose she was awful to you, too.
Alpha? Nah. She was my favorite old lady. I delivered her mail for, what, 5 years now? Every day I look forward to seeing her.
Oh, Smith, thank you so much. We need happy stories today.
Well, she always had a glass of lemonade ready for me. And those famous oatmeal cookies right there on her front porch. Her house was about halfway point to my route. So I would sit on her swing set for a few minutes, just chatting, drinking lemonade, laughing. She was so funny.
Millie?
Smith, this sounds like a totally different woman. Are you sure you're here for Millie James?
Of course I'm sure. You know, the thing about being her mailman is you don't have to act around me in a certain way. I was in her church or her family.
What do you mean?
Women are complicated. I think they caught themselves inside of what's expected of them to what they really are. Millie was expected to be a good mother, to keep her kids in line, to be a good church woman, to follow the rules, to be perfect at both, but she failed at both. Not that she didn't want to talk about her kids in her church. She loved them. Those were the most important things to her. But she knew that she had failed. I think the thing that she was most proud of, John, was how you turned out to be. That you were mean like her, that you had broken that pattern. She would never tell you that. She had pride like you wouldn't believe. Or maybe you would believe. She did say that you overlove your brother than your kids. She said that every day. I don't know how he learned to overlove your brother and your kids. She was very proud of you, John. Anyway, that's Amelia, I know.
Thank you, Smith. How remarkable to be able to share this other side of Millie. John, I hope this brings some healing to you.
Thank you, Smith. Thank you. I had no idea she had this whole other side to her. That she felt remorse. That she was actually proud of me. I guess I never expected she could actually change.
She was very proud of you, John. You and your brother.
Why don't we all take a short coffee break before we move on to prayer?
Sure. I knew Millie was good. I knew something was good about her.
How remarkable to be able to share this other side of Millie. How healing for the family. To see that she was redeemable. I suppose you need to get back to your mail route.
To my right?
Your mail route.
Oh, no. I don't work for the mailman. I work for the funeral home.